Okay, so for the first question, how has the course challenged your thinking in terms of special education? So I think for me, this course being like my first really special education course that I've taken has showed me that special education is a lot broader than I ever thought it was. When you think of special education, you usually think of autism or Down syndrome, things like that. And I really didn't take into account other disabilities out there like vision impairments and even things just like physical disabilities. Sometimes you kind of overlook those. This has helped me to broaden my knowledge and understanding that there are a lot more disabilities than I ever thought, as well as learning about the different disabilities and like different methods you can use for each. So I'll be able to of saying that when I was first learning about special education, like at the beginning of this course, I kind of assumed that a lot of the disabilities would have the same methods and techniques that you could use to help them like in the classroom and everything like that. But there's so many individualized and special techniques that can be used for each disability. And it's really interesting learning about all of them. And it really challenges my thinking of what I thought special education would be prior to this course. And also I would say that this course has challenged my thinking and of how like the structure of diagnosing special education is done, specifically how it requires so much collaboration and transition planning. So for the second question, what are 2 new things you have learned this semester? So kind of talking a little bit what I talked about last question. Transition planning was something that I got to learn about that I had never really known much about. I've had ADHD since I was in 5th grade, and so I have a 504 plan, but my transition wasn't like super intense, so I really didn't know much about it. But in this course, I've learned a lot more. People who have like very severe disabilities, just like structuring transition from moving from like elementary to middle school or middle school to high school, and especially like beyond high school as well, going into like the real world and like adjusting. Another thing that I learned this semester was about like the process of diagnosing special education or a disability. From my experience, I kind of know a little bit about it, but I didn't know like exactly how many parts are needed, like the whole like getting the approval, the observations, and drafting up the IEP. I didn't even know about IEPs. Like I said, I have a 504 plan, I don't have an IEP. So learning about that was just really unique, and I'm excited to learn more about it. And so the final question, as you continue to move forward in our education program, what are you most excited to continue to learn about in terms of special education? So I'm excited to learn more about specialized techniques that teachers can use for students who have disabilities. So we briefly like touched on that, I feel like in some lectures, but I'm really excited to like be able to focus on each specific disability and like really figure out techniques to use and to use that within like field environments or student teaching, because it's one thing to learn about it and it's one thing to practice it. And I'm really excited to hopefully get that opportunity to use my knowledge that I've gained in this course and take that into my further education courses and my field experiences. And I think that'll be a really cool and unique opportunity.